Hey guys, I wanted to do a Tour 10 shootout video guide. This is how I personally play every single Tour 10 shootout. But all these shots that I'm showing are with a Power 1 ball. So that is just a disclaimer. If you're using Power 3 balls, Power 4 balls, or whatever, these adjustments are going to be different by, I'm not sure how much percent, but they're going to be different. So that's just a disclaimer. These adjustments are with Power 1 ball. So I'm going to put each separate shootout, I'm going to put timestamps in the description so that you can refer to these later. Or if you're coming here just for one specific shootout, go ahead and go in the description and find the specific shootout and go to that timestamp and you'll be good to go. So I'm going to show you as many wind scenarios as I can. I've been collecting shots for the past 4 or 5 weeks and this is what I have. I want to show everyone how it's done. Alright, so let's get started. This is going to be a long one, so let's go. Starting with Gokasho 3, I always offset left of the pin. The amount that I offset is based off of whether the wind is left to right or right to left. In left to right winds, I like to offset near the left side of this dark column where I've put the red line, and in right to left winds, I like to offset near the left side of this dark column where I've put the blue line. So on this one, I do mid plus 20, and I'm gonna do 2.5 left spin and about 1.8, 1.9 top spin, just under 2. And this is a shootout that I've gotten to a point where I almost expect a hole-in-one at least like 1 out of 3 times. I've gotten the bounce over with the Goliath down pretty much. So this one, the wind is right to left, but also a tailwind, tail crosswind. So I'm gonna do about 1.5, maybe just under about 1.4 top spin because it's more of a tailwind. And I do no side spin, and I'm offsetting still to the left of the pin, but less left than we did in left to right wind. Mid plus 20 again. So this is more of a straight crosswind, but it does have a little hint of tailwind. So I did no side spin because it's right to left, and I did just barely under 2 top spin, and I'm gonna adjust mid plus 20 again for this crosswind. For left to right crosswind, I'm gonna do the 2.5 left spin along with about 2 top spin. Offsetting more left and adjusting mid plus 20%. For this headwind and this angle of headwind, I did 2.5 left spin and about 2.5 top spin. And for headwinds, I do max plus 20. And actually, I pushed it up a little bit more at the end there because I felt like that was not set up correctly. Now here's a right to left cross headwind, and I'm gonna do no side spin, and I did about just under 3 top spin, about 2.8 top spin, because it's a little more of a crosswind than headwind. And I'm gonna adjust max plus 20%. And drop it like it's hot. Okay, Gokasho 5. On this one, I'm gonna do plus 10% max. I'm gonna do 2.5 right spin and about 5.5 back spin. And I did about half a ball of right curl. Anytime the wind is in a direction like this where I know that I'm gonna have to pull into the bunker, I do mid minus 10% and no push up or anything afterwards, because who has time for that, honestly? So do 2.5 right spin, and I did about 5 back spin on this. And some right curl. And it's pretty close. And just in case you don't believe me about the minus 10% mid, I'm gonna show you again. 2.5 right spin. I think I did about 5.5 back spin here for higher wind. Mid minus 10% into the sand. No push up, because there's no time. Right curl. A little too generous on the curl, but pretty close. For this angle of headwind, I do 1-to-1, do 2.5 right spin, about 3.5 back spin. Some right curl. On this one I did plus 10% max. For backspin, I went to do the full 2.5 right spin and then took about a bar of right spin off. And I did no curl. On this headwind I did plus 20% max, about 3.5 backspin, 2.5 right spin, I did slight right curl, and it was too much. Okay, for Gokasho 7. In tailwinds I like to do this Goliath shot. I actually got this setup from watching Finzel play Tour 10. And I go right at the max, about plus 3 yard mark. Usually can get away with no spin. Did max plus 20%. Here's another one that's a little more crosswind. Go right up to the max. Goliath. Max plus 20%. And I did no spin here. But added just a little bit of right curl. Why? I don't know. Almost. And another tailwind, but from the left to right. I added just a little smidge of right spin. Again, why? I don't know. Max plus 20% again. So here's a pretty straight left to right crosswind. I'm going to do a sniper shot. I'm going to do full backspin. I'm going to do just a little smidge of left spin, but you'll see that it's going to need more than that. And I'm going to adjust mid plus 10%. Just a straight shot here, and you'll see that it comes in too far to the right, just a little bit, so could have used some more left spin and it would have been pretty good. Here's a similar left to right crosswind, but it has a headwind. So I do the same, I do full backspin. I do the right spin to try to find the aim point that I'm going for. Then I took the right spin off and I did mid plus 10%. No curl, straight shot again. Here's a pretty straight headwind, but it's a very light wind. So I did full backspin, full right spin, and then I take off about 1.5 bars of backspin to reduce it to just over 5 backspin for this wind. And I just did max plus 10%, and I do a little right curl because of the way the green slopes from the right to the left here. But it was a little too much. Here's another headwind, but it's a stronger wind, and I'm gonna do pretty similar thing here. Full backspin, full right spin, find the spot, and then reduce the backspin to about 5 backspin. But I would almost suggest doing maybe even less than 5 backspin sometimes here. I did max plus 10%, but there have been times where in a strong headwind like this, like an even stronger headwind than this, that I would definitely suggest doing less than 5 backspin. Pretty close. Here's a right to left cross headwind. Then I'm gonna do a sniper shot again, and I'm gonna do full backspin, full right spin, find the spot, take off some backspin. So I reduced it to about 5.3 backspin, and I'm gonna adjust max plus 10%. And I'm going to do a significant amount of right curl. So close. Alright, now for Oasis 3. The way that I do these like tailwind and tail crosswind shots is I like to do full left curl, and I tweak the amount of side spin that I do. So I know that with my clubs I use Goliath 9. Something that I didn't realize is that Goliath 9 has 100% curl, and not every Goliath has 100% curl, only level 9 does. So if you don't have Goliath 9, if you aren't using Goliath 9, you're gonna have to kind of tweak the amount of side spin that you do based on the curl that you have. So with this, I'm gonna do, I set up with the left of the red ring, kind of even with the rough there. I'm gonna do 4 backspin and about 0.6 left spin. I'm gonna adjust max plus 10%. And I'm gonna do full left curl. So for this shot, I do the same thing where I set up with the left of the red ring by the rough. I'm going to do 4 backspin and about 1.5 bars of left spin. I'm going to adjust max plus 10%. And full left curl. And drop it like it's hot. So this is more of a crosswind than a tailwind, so I'm gonna do about 3.8 backspin. And I did the full left spin here because the wind is really pushing to the right here. And I actually moved my target more to the left because of the lack of side spin that I have. So I'm gonna do max plus 10%. Full left curl. And that's about as close as you can get with 100% curl and 2.5 bars of left spin. Alright, for these straighter crosswinds, you have one of 2 options. You can do the Goliath shot or you can do a sniper rough bump. For this one, I'm going to show you the Goliath shot. And I'm going to do about 3.5 backspin and about a bar of right spin, or just under a bar of right spin is what I did. I'm going to just max plus 10% and full left curl. And I would recommend doing probably more like half of a bar of right spin, but really would probably just recommend the rough bump. And I'm going to show you that, but in a different wind direction in a second. Alright, so for the sniper rough bump, I do plus 5% minimum. And I'm going to do the 2.5 left spin and about 1.5 bars of back spin. So just plus 5% minimum. And I'm going to do some left curl to try to avoid that tree. So for headwinds, I do like a sniper switchover shot. I set up in Goliath like I normally do the regular Goliath shot, and I'm going to do 4 backspin and as much left spin as I feel like I need to do for the wind angle. Here I did about half a bar of left spin. I'm going to line up with the wind. I'm going to pull to min sniper and visualize 5 rings, and I'm going to pull the remaining that I need to pull. So there was 4.7 for the 9.7 for plus 10% minimum. I do full left curl. And it was pretty close. And here's another sniper switchover shot I'm going to show. Set up in Goliath position as usual. For this one, I'm going to do full left spin, do 4 back spin, line up and pull to the minimum sniper and visualize 5 rings, and then pull the remaining for the minimum 10% sniper. Full left curl. Definitely try not to overpower these curl shots, because that can definitely ruin your shootout. Alright, I'm just going to be upfront and honest. I absolutely suck at this sniper shot, so just be kind. I'm gonna do full backspin, 2.5 left spin for this tail crosswind. I'm gonna adjust minimum plus 10%. And I'm gonna curl to the left, kind of even with that triangle. And that one actually was not bad. Alright, here I'm gonna do the 2.5 left spin. About 6 backspin. And I adjusted min plus 10%. Left curl. Here I'm going to do full 2.5 left spin and about 5.5 back spin because it's kind of a headwind. And I adjust mid plus 10%. And I curled left outside of that triangle. And it was definitely coming in hot, so I would recommend more backspin and less curl. So here again I'm going to do the full 2.5 left spin and about 5.5 backspin. I adjust mid plus 10%. And I did full left curl here, but you're gonna see that it was too much. Also just be wary, and sometimes in some headwinds, if you do full left curl, there is a tree on the right that you can hit and you will bounce off of it and go into the rough about 30 yards away from the pin. So just so you know. In right to left crosswinds, there's a sniper rough bump that I do sometimes, and I only recommend it in right to left crosswind because it's the only wind that I've consistently been successful in. I do full left spin, full back spin, line it up. I do plus 15% max. After I adjust, I'm going to turn the camera around, line the line up straight, and I'm going to push back about 0.7 rings. And this usually gets close if you push back the right amount. In tailwinds, there's also a Goliath shot you can do. I usually do plus 15% max, but for some reason I did plus 20% max here. I do full left spin and about 3.5 top spin. And in this wind I do a little left curl. I would recommend the 15% because that landed pretty close to the rough there on that first bounce. Here's another Goliath shot from the other wind direction. I'm going to do the full left spin, I'm going to do 3.5 top spin, and I adjust plus 15 max, and this replay is glitched, that is at max distance of the Goliath. So it should say like plus 3 yards or something. I did no curl here. Okay, on this hole in tailwinds and tail crosswinds, I always do plus 15% mid, which with the power 1 ball and sniper 10 always comes out to be 1-to-1 plus 0.1. I'm gonna do some left spin and about 1 top spin because it's mostly crosswind here. I did about 2 left spin. No curl. So this is a straighter tailwind. I'm gonna do 2.5 left spin and about half of a bar of top spin. And I always go for the bounce guide here. I see a lot of people go for when the ball guide goes flat, and usually when you do that, you get that fringe glitch and it rolls past the green. I did mid plus 15. And it does come in a little bit too hot there, but it's still usually good. For this, I'm gonna do sniper again. I'm gonna do full 2.5 left spin and about 0.7 top spin. I just mid plus 15%. And afterwards I push up 1 ring because you lose elevation when you adjust down into that sand there off of that little hill. I did a little bit of left curl. And it could have used a little bit more. I'm going to show a sniper shot in headwind that I never do it, but I just want to show it. I did 2.5 left spin and I should have left this top spin off, but I took a little bit off to about 2.5, but I probably should have left it at 3. I did max plus 20%, which I think looks good as far as the landing. And it just comes up a little bit short. So it's a decent shot if you need to try that out. If you don't have a driver on that has enough backspin and you feel like you have to do the sniper shot, it's worth a try. Here's a driver shot in a cross headwind, and I do about 7 backspin, 2.5 left spin. And I adjusted plus 20% mid. And that came in pretty close. This is more of a crosswind, but it does have a hint of headwind, so I did go with the driver for sure. I did about 7 backspin, 2.5 left spin. And here I adjusted mid plus 10%. And then I pushed up just a little smidge after adjusting that into the sand. I did a little bit of left curl. And I did grate this shot. I grate righted it. But it looks like it would have been pretty good. Here's a pretty strong straight headwind. And I'm gonna do the driver shot. I'm gonna do 7 backspin, or actually, I think I took some off. Yeah, about 6 backspin, 2.5 left spin. And I adjusted mid plus 15%. And then afterward, I lined it up straight and pushed up about half a ring. Why? I don't know. I just tend to come up short here sometimes, so alright, here I'm gonna go for the sniper funnel shot. I'm gonna pull it back and I'm gonna do the full 2.5 left spin. And here I did about 1.3 top spin, and I go and I try to find that flat line where it's left of the pin, and I adjusted plus 30% max. No curl. Here I'm going for the same kind of sniper funnel shot. I'm gonna do 2.5 left spin and about 2.5 top spin. And here you can visibly see me panicking to find the guideline. I adjusted plus 30% max. In a more straight, even crosswind, I would maybe suggest 2 top spin, somewhere around there. Again, very similar thing here. 2.5 left spin, about 2.5 top spin. Find the ball guide. Oh, panic a little bit. Find it. Plus 30% max. Here's more of a headwind. I'm gonna do the sniper shot again. I'm gonna do 2.5 left spin, about 3 top spin. Maybe just a little over 3 top spin. Find that ball guide, and again, max plus 30%. I got pooped. I'm gonna show you the driver shot and headwind. I used to do this, I don't do it anymore. I do the sniper shot, but if you're ever in a case where maybe you have the cat on or something, this is a good option. I do about 2.5 backspin, and I adjust plus 35% minimum because I'm set up right at the minimum line there. So I great lefted this one, and it looks like it should have, it went in the hole, but it looks like it might need some left spin. Here's another headwind driver shot. Set up right at the min line. I'm gonna do about 1 left spin and about 2.5 back spin. And I'm gonna adjust plus 35% minimum. For Nordic 4, I always go for the sniper rollback shot. I just personally find it easier to dial in the spins for. It can be risky if you don't do the right amount of top or back spin. You can get stuck on that fringe on the back. And honestly, it's a sad and lonely place, and you don't want to be there because the ball does not roll back down from that back fringe. I know from experience. But if you just be careful with the amount of top or backspin that you do, you should be okay. Starting with tailwind, I'm gonna set up on this left pad here with about half of the blue on the rough, and right where the waves kiss the white ring there. We see it kisses the white ring there. It just kisses it. I'm gonna do 2.5 right spin, 1.5 back spin, max plus 25%. And about half a ball of right curl. And this should roll back, kind of like Walmart. For a left to right cross tailwind, I'm going to set up in the same position where the waves just barely kiss the outer of the white ring there. 2.5 right spin, and I'm going to do about 1 back spin for this wind. I'm going to adjust plus 25% max. And just under half a ball of right curl. You have to be careful, there is a bump on this green that you can get stuck on if you don't curl enough to the right. The ball won't roll back down, basically, and you get screwed, so. On this left to right head crosswind, I'm gonna set up in the same spot. I'm gonna do 2.5 right spin, and I did no top spin or back spin on this one. I adjust plus 25% max again. And about half a ball of right curl. Here's another left to right head slash crosswind, but it's more of a headwind. I'm going to set up in the same spot, do 2.5 right spin, and I did about half a bar of topspin. I'm gonna adjust max plus 30% because it's more of a headwind. And a little bit of right curl. Here is a right to left head / crosswind. I'm gonna set up in the same area. Gonna do 2.5 right spin and about half a bar of top spin. I'm gonna try to adjust for plus 30% max, but what happens is that dip in the water there messes it up, and it actually adjusts at about plus 25% max, and it's completely fine. I did more right curl than usual because it's right to left here. Here's another right to left head crosswind, but more of a headwind and a stronger wind. I'm gonna set up and do 2.5 right spin and half a bar of top spin. I'm gonna adjust plus 30% max. And about half a ball of right curl. Alright, for this one I went ahead and tried to do this right side shot, and I did about 3.5 backspin and 1 left spin, but you'll see that with the way this wind is more of a headwind than a crosswind, then I realized I'm gonna have to pull into overpower a little bit. So just a heads up there for that wind angle. You're gonna have to do a little bit of overpower or play further back and do less backspin. And I adjust plus 25% max. I hit great left and it still comes in pretty nicely. The wind pushes to the left here a lot from this right side for some reason. So just be aware of that. You don't have to do as much left spin as it looks like you have to do because of that push. This is a pretty straight right to left even crosswind, so I'm going to take a shot from the right side. I'm going to set up and do about 3.5 backspin and 1 left spin. I kind of aim that second bounce on the fringe here. Again, you don't need all the left spin that you think you need to do. The wind pushes it for you. You don't have to do any curl either. I'm going to adjust plus 25% max. And just take a straight shot here, no curl. And here for a right to left tail crosswind, I'm going to take another shot from the right side. I'm going to do about 5.5 backspin and 1 left spin. Again, trying to aim that second bounce on the fringe. or near it at least. And I'm gonna adjust plus 25% max. I'm going to recommend that you do probably about 6 backspin in this wind, especially with this high of a wind, because this one got pretty close to the fringe at the top there. Now on to Nordic 7 for this tail crosswind. I set up at the max Goliath position. This is actually at about the plus 3 yard mark. The replay doesn't show it. I do 2.5 right spin and about 2.5 backspin, or about 2.8 backspin for more of a tailwind. I adjust max plus 35% and I do some right curl. And it came in a little bit to the left, but it's okay. For this wind, I'm going to do a similar shot with the Goliath. I'm going to set up at max with the red ring by the rough. This is at plus 3 yard mark. I'm going to do 2.5 right spin and 2 and a clickety-clack a back spin. Because it's more of a crosswind, there's just a little hint of tailwind here. I'm going to adjust max plus 35%. And do some right curl. This one I'm gonna show that with this low of a wind, you can still shoot from the left, but with any wind higher than this, I wouldn't recommend it. I'm gonna set up more left with like the blue ring by the rough. I'm gonna do 2.5 right spin and about 2.5 back spin. And you see that's about the most you can adjust there at max plus 35% without pulling off the heel there. I'm gonna do a lot more right curl than I normally do. And it came in pretty nicely. But any higher wind than that, I'm going to recommend the right side with the sniper, and I'll show that shot later on. For this head crosswind, I'm going to do a similar setup as the Goliath, but I'm going to set up at min sniper with the blue ring by the rough. I'm going to do 2.5 right spin and just under 2.5 backspin, about 2.3, 2.4 bars. I'm going to adjust plus 45% minimum. And I'm going to do some right curl. And that should win. This is going to be another similar min sniper shot with the blue ring by the rough. I happen to have a quasar on here, so I'm going to do the full right spin and about 2.4 back spin. I'm going to adjust plus 45% minimum. And some right curl. And it was pretty good. I'm going to show another option for headwind that I see a lot of people do that I wanted to try out to show. I go up by the green here, just to the left of it, underneath the green. I'm going to do about 4.5 back spin and 2.5 left spin. I adjusted plus 30% max here. And no curl. and it should bounce back and roll. The closest I've gotten with this shot is here with about 2.5 yards from the pin. So for right to left crosswind or tail crosswind, I'm gonna go to the right side here. I'm gonna do about 6 backspin and 2.5 left spin. And this wind is gonna push it more to the left, so you shouldn't have to do any curl. At least with this wind. I adjust plus 15% max. You gotta be careful, it can start adjusting off of that little pad there. As you can see, with 2.5 left spin and no left curl or anything, it still came in a little to the left. Alright, there you have it. That's how to win every single Tour 10 shootout with a Power 1 ball. I honestly hope this helps people. I know Tour 10 can be rough and a lot of people struggle, but if you just keep sticking with it, you'll get there. Alright everyone, try not to break your phones or your tablets or your iPads, and good luck out there. Have a good one. See y'all.